Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're unpacking what is honestly a truly extraordinary day in technology. If you've been scrolling through the recent headlines from Tekin Morning, you know that July 2026 is shaping up to be an absolute defining moment in history. We're witnessing the massive, rapid automation of, well, our entire world. And it's not just happening in one little sector, it's happening everywhere, all at once. From the satellites hovering in the vastness of space, right down to the daily workflows on your office laptop, artificial intelligence and aerospace innovations are literally rewriting the rules of how we live and work. Today, we're going to break down these monumental shifts using data and reports straight from the sources to understand exactly what this 2026 tech revolution means for all of us. We have an immense scale of stories to cover today, so here is our roadmap. First, we'll look at SpaceX's mega constellation. Second, how GPT-5.6 is changing the workplace. Third, AI taking over cybersecurity. And finally, the human impact of all this by 2030.
Starting way up high, Part 1. SpaceX's 100K satellite mega constellation and Elon Musk's audacious plan for Earth's orbit. While most of us are just kind of getting used to the current number of Starlink satellites drifting across the night sky, SpaceX officially filed an application with the FCC on July 9, 2026, to create the largest satellite constellation in human history. But, as you can imagine, a project of this magnitude doesn't come with massive pushback. The American Astronomical Society and various scientific groups have already sent intense letters of protest. Ground-based observatories are facing serious operational nightmares, and there are major concerns about space debris. Jonathan McDowell, an astrophysicist at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics, puts it starkly. So the crucial point is his fear that we're building an electronic cage around ourselves, forever altering the night sky as a shared natural heritage. 100,000 satellites. Just let that number sink in for a second. What does a swarm that staggeringly large actually mean for the sky right above your house? It's pretty wild to think about, but to look at it impartially, we also have to consider the massive flip side presented by SpaceX's Chief Technology Officer, Mike Gold. He points out that this immense scale could provide a true game changer. We're talking significantly better, ultra-reliable internet coverage in the most remote and polar regions of Earth. And they are working on systems to reduce light reflection and extend the satellite's lifespans to address those exact environmental concerns. It's a massive balancing act between unprecedented global connectivity and preserving our natural sky, all wrapped up in some serious regulatory hurdles. Let's look at what these new machines can actually do. Notice the massive leap in weight here, from about 1,250 pounds up to a massive 4,400 pounds per satellite. That's roughly the weight of a large SUV hovering in orbit. That extra 2 tons means way more power and incredibly advanced antennas. The download speeds are jumping from the current 100 to 200 megabits per second, all the way up to an estimated 500 to 1,000 megabits per second, with latency dropping below 10 milliseconds. Their operational lifespan is also extending up to 10 years. From a market perspective, this level of heavy-duty infrastructure could completely shift the balance of power, potentially allowing SpaceX to absolutely dominate competitors like Amazon's Project Kuiper and OneWeb by 2030.
All right, let's zoom back down to Earth. Part 2, GPT-5.6 changes the workplace as Microsoft and OpenAI double down on enterprise AI. So those recent rumors floating around, outlets like Bloomberg about a Microsoft and OpenAI split, yeah, those are officially dead. And the pace of their evolution is just breathtaking. Let's move to and see how this builds. We started in November 2022 with ChatGPT 3.5. Just months later, GPT-4 brought multimodal capabilities. January 2024 gave us GPT-4 Turbo for enterprise, followed by GPT-5's advanced reasoning in late 2025. And now, as of July 2026, we have GPT 5.6. Sam Altman calls it their smartest model ever designed for commercial applications, packed with massive improvements specifically targeted at cybersecurity, context data analysis, and highly advanced coding. This brings us to the most practical application for your daily life, the new ChatGPT work agent. OpenAI is literally calling this an intelligent colleague. This isn't just a basic chatbot anymore. It operates independently without human intervention. It integrates directly into your tools like Jira, Asana, and Notion. It manages multi-person projects, writes dense analytical reports, and through a new hosted site service, it can build and host simple websites if you just give it a prompt like, hey, build me an e-commerce site for handmade products. Done. It even includes a desktop codex for real-time coding assistance. For a mid-sized company of, say, 50 employees, delegating these admin and programming tasks could reduce operational costs by up to 40%. It is a total transformation of workplace efficiency. Which leads us perfectly into part 3, AI takes over cybersecurity, the invisible war of code and intelligent shields. Now, because of incredibly smart models like GPT 5.6, hackers also have access to powerful AI tools. It's a real arms race. To fight back, major entities like the Ethereum Foundation and Microsoft are deploying their own AI systems to hunt bugs way faster than the bad guys can exploit them. To understand this threat, let's look at the re-entrancy attack. This is a terrifyingly common vulnerability in blockchain smart contracts. Basically, it's like a hacker tricking an ATM by repeatedly hitting the withdraw button to pull out funds over and over again before the system even registers the first transaction is complete. It's the exact exploit used in the famous 2016 DAO attack that drained $60 million in Ether. Finding these deeply hidden logical flaws used to rely entirely on human auditors staring at screens of code for weeks on end. Peter Szilagyi, a senior researcher at the Ethereum Foundation, hit the nail on the head when he said the era of human-only security is over. In response to this, Ethereum has deployed Guardian AI. This system uses deep learning and natural language processing to scan thousands of lines of smart contract code. It instantly spots unusual patterns, like that reentrancy attack we just talked about, alerts the developers, and even goes as far as suggesting the corrected code. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't just suggest it, it rewrites it. What used to be a grueling audit taking weeks and costing thousands of dollars is now done for a few dollars in a few seconds. And it's for sure not just the blockchain space making these leaps. 67%. That is the massive reduction in zero-day vulnerabilities Microsoft achieved in 2025 alone. Their Security Response Center team built a completely AI-powered pipeline to protect the Windows operating system. Now, keep in mind, Windows has over 50 million lines of code. Manually reviewing that is literally impossible. But by using static code analysis and machine learning, this system automatically flags things like potential buffer overflows before hackers even know they exist. And critically, it continuously learns from every single new attack pattern it sees. And this brilliantly illustrates the two entirely different battlefields we're dealing with here. Comparing Ethereum and Microsoft side by side, we see Ethereum's Guardian AI is hyper-focused on blockchain smart contracts written in languages like Solidity, looking for logical financial threats like flash loans, and it does this in seconds per contract. Microsoft's security AI, on the other hand, is tackling massive operating systems written in C++ and Rust, hunting for deep system-level threats like privilege escalation, which takes hours to scan across the entire system. While Microsoft keeps their tech internal for now, Ethereum actually plans public access by 2027. But the unifying theme across both is crystal clear. Automated, highly intelligent shields are the new standard. So what does this all mean for us? Part 4. The human impact by 2030. Navigating the ethics and economics of an automated world. With operational costs dropping and AI hunting bugs faster than humans, what actually happens to our careers? Well, a fascinating 2026 Gartner report forecasts out to 2030, predicting the AI market value will hit a staggering $1.8 trillion. Yes, workforce displacement is a massive economic concern. An estimated 85 million positions are expected to be replaced by AI. But now what's really interesting about this slide is right next to it, we see a projection of 97 million new jobs being created. The net job creation is actually predicted to be positive. The challenge we're facing isn't the death of work. The challenge is a massive structural career transition. To really understand that transition, we just have to look back at the cybersecurity sector we were just exploring. The demand for security experts isn't decreasing at all, but the day-to-day job is totally transforming. According to the researchers at Ethereum, security professionals are shifting from being manual bug hunters who spend hours searching for flaws to becoming AI supervisors and validators. By 2030, AI will likely discover 80% of vulnerabilities on its own. The human job is now to analyze those AI results, prove which bugs are real, eliminate the false positives, and design high-level macro strategies. It's a fundamental shift from tedious manual labor to complex contextual judgment. So as we wrap up this explainer, we really have to look at the immense trade-offs this technology forces us to navigate as a society. Every single advancement we've talked about today brings an incredible benefit, but also a very real cost. We can achieve unprecedented global internet access for remote regions, but we must trade off the pristine natural state of our night sky. We can dramatically reduce organizational operational costs, but we absolutely have to manage the very real workforce displacement that comes with it. And we can build brilliant automated digital shields for our data, but we must acknowledge the immense risk if these exact same AI capabilities fall into the hands of malicious actors. Which brings us to the ultimate question left by the Tekin Morning editorial team. With AI transitioning from being just a handy auxiliary helper to the primary defender of our entire global digital infrastructure, are we ready to completely entrust our security to machines? It's a profound ethical implication that we're all going to have to answer as we head toward 2030. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If this sparked your curiosity, I highly recommend digging deeper into the sources and exploring how these specific technologies will impact your own industry. Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.